As many of you know, I recently lost my Dada, and losing a parent is perhaps one of the most irreplaceable losses that one can experience. And one of the best ways, to my mind, to understand the grief of losing a loved one is to keep in mind everything that they have taught you and how those qualities can be imbibed into yourself and serve as a lesson to many. And that was really the reason why I thought, let me come up with these series of videos, which are all about lessons that I learned from him. He lived a very remarkable life, and the first lesson is all about discipline. He had a very structured life. He'd wake up around the same time every single day. He'd create a list of things to do, which in our modern day times we call it journaling. He saw patients by appointment only. In fact, on his board right outside his practice, it used to say consultation by appointment only. And in spite of that, whenever somebody came to him for help, in any random time, called him, out of the blue for anything, he was always present to them. So discipline is not just about following a certain rhythm or routine or schedule. It is also about making time in your busy life to be present to people, to keep promises, to help. And no matter where he was in the world, whatever he was doing, traveling for work or for pleasure, he was always accessible to people. And in that whole concept of discipline, it was all about coming back home for lunch at a certain time, making sure he had a little bit of a siesta, and then going back to his evening routine, coming back, spending time with the family. He always made sure that he was there for every single performance that I ever gave in school, from the time I was in kindergarten all the way till about middle school. Because of life and its circumstances and choices, I lived under the same roof as my parents only until I was about 14 and a half years old. And all these lessons that I have learned are not just something that he sat down and told me. It was things that I learned by osmosis, by observation, by just looking and seeing and loving everything that I saw. And this discipline also went on to exercise and habits. He truly believed that any of the behaviors that all of us possess have an idea in our mind, and that idea can actually become a habit. And it is so important to understand that these behaviors that we take very lightly, if we focus on them and have discipline around them, all of them can become a wonderful habit. And these habits are what really need to be treasured. And these habits ultimately become decisions that we make in our life. And then life truly is a celebration.